Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 11, Chapter 6, Green Across the Door, Part 1 of 2. Sages who have designed the Hindu calendar have arranged the holy festivals for fostering mental stamina and emotional purity. The Makara Sankranti, the summer equinox, when the sun enters Capricorn, is laid down as the day when man dedicates his activities for the higher purposes of attaining divinity. By following the Uttarayana, the northward path, the nobler path which the sun himself is seen to take from this day. The month Dhanus is over and that of Makara begins today. Dhanus means not only the bow but also the sugar cane, which is the bow of the god of love. The harvest has come in now, and every family has cooked this day the gift of God that has been stored in the granary. The children have chewed the sweet cane and are running about in glee. The cattle which toiled in the fields as companion, helpmate and slave of man are ruminating in the shade, enjoying their holiday from the yoke. The earth too is wearing a sari of yellow flowers, bedecked with spots of red, wherever ripe chilies cluster under green leaves. Nature is happy that man and all living beings can now turn Godward in thankfulness and intensive contemplation of his handiwork. For 6 months now it is Devayana, the season of pilgrimage. It is Uttamayana, the superior path. The message of the holy day of Sankranti. The Gita proclaims that he who dies in this half of the year dies in peace and plenty, and so he rises to purer levels of spiritual attainments. Bhishma, who was stricken by mortal arrows on the field of the Kurukshetra war, waited for this day, which ushers in the holier half of the year, so that he may take his final breath and merge in the Supersoul. This is a day of dedication, not a day of diversion and dissipation. It is wrong to waste it in gambling and feasting and catering to the lower instincts. It is not a holiday. It is, in the strictest sense of the word, a holy day. Become whole by wholesome deeds and thoughts. That is the message of the holy day. Mere spinning like a top until you can spin no longer, and then falling helpless and inert. This is a dreary, devastating existence. The top has no faith in itself. It has to be handled and twirled by another. Be self-confident. That is to say, have confidence in yourself, for that self is divine. It has in it all the strength, all the sweetness of the Atma, true self, which is but a wave of the ocean of the Paramatma, supreme reality. In order to ensure happiness and peace, administrators contrive 5-year plans and build bridges, dams, factories and schools, but without the cleansing of the spirit, the strengthening of detachment, the promotion of compassion and kinship, economic progress promotes only hatred, faction and envy. Self-confidence, self-control and self-knowledge, these alone can lead man to peace and joy. Nashreyo niyamam vina, no prosperity without control, no progress without discipline. That is what the sages teach. On these holy days, he has to look back and forward, and orientate his route along the correct markings. Mind is a bundle of desires and doubts. Belief in the Creator, the Designer, the Supporter, and the Disintegrator. This is necessary equipment for the pilgrim on earth. Fear of sin, love of God. These two endow man with peace and joy. It saves him from sorrow and grants him ananda, bliss. During deep sleep, one is not aware of time, space, or causation. Only the I persists, the I that is Sat, Chit, Ananda. But during deep sleep, the I is not aware of its Ananda, not aware of itself. It is only after one awakens that one declares, I had very pleasant sleep. During the dream stage, the mind is active, though the intelligence, the senses are all dormant. The dream builds a bungalow in a few seconds, and you occupy it and live happily in it until in the dream an earthquake brings it down on your heads and you flee for sheer life. The entire story of construction, occupation, and destruction was the reflection of mental aberration. It's sankalpa, resolve. It is the seat of the ego, and the ego plays all sorts of pranks with the mental stuff during sleep, when the senses and reason are temporarily out of action. The mind is a bundle of resolutions and hesitations, of desires and doubts. When the basis of the ego is removed by spiritual effort, heroically, directed towards this end, then all the drama of name and form drifts away into nothingness. The sun draws the water up as steam. It endows it with the name and form of cloud, rain, and then as stream, river, flood, until it merges in the sea back again, losing all the manifoldness of name, form, caused by time, space, and causation. Each one of you is the basis of truth, which a cloud of unreality fogs. This is to be discovered, each for himself, by himself. Maya is like your shadow in the well. The seed struck in the soil sprouts and grows. It puts forward branches and leaves and adorns itself with blossoms which attract bees. It develops fruits which are really offerings of sweetness and strength to those who serve the tree, carrying the seeds ensconced within them to far distances and scattered them again on the soil, so that they may get stuck and sprout in another cycle of life and death. The seed is not inert, it is conscious, alive, active. The whole universe is suffused with divinity, divinity that is existence, conscience, bliss. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Existence as seed, plant, tree. Consciousness which strives for expression and manifestation and unfoldment. And bliss in that fulfillment. You are also Sat, Chit, Ananda. Do not condemn your majesty, bewailing, I am unfortunate, I am despicable, I am downhearted. No, you are elated, you are enthroned, you are exalted. You are all this, but you are not aware of this on account of Maya, illusion. Maya is like your shadow in the well. If you do not peep into the well, it is not there. It is there only whenever you peep into it. The primal ignorance and the primal wisdom are inherent, one in the other. The light of day darkens the stars, so that we cannot see them, though they are up above our heads. The darkness of night reveals the specks of light which are the stars. Vibration, motion, light, darkness, all are inferring. God knows what is good for the individual souls. To adore name and form is against the basic teaching of Vedanta, for one has to educate oneself into ignoring the evanescent, the temporary, the superficial. Unless one has discarded his identity with all, the identity of all with him, one cannot have the waveless calm, the steady flame. Natyage naike amritatva manashahu. Give up the fancy for the fantastic objective world. Give up until you reach the stage where there is no giver, gift giving. When there is no beginning, continuing, ending. Narada learned from the sage Sanat Kumara that he can acquire Shanti only when he knows that he is Shanti and nothing else. Ashanti, restlessness, is something that has possessed him like a phobia which has no footing. Shake it off, exorcise it. He is free. It is the role that is tragic, not the actor. He has only to remind himself that it is a play and that he is playing the role of a tragic hero. This Narada learnt, and his equanimity was never again disturbed. This day every home is swept clean. The floors are polished, the walls whitewashed and painted, and before every house, women draw auspicious designs in flour. They place in the middle of that design a lump of cow dung, and stick on that lump a big yellow flower of golden hue, of the sweet cucumber. Why the cow dung lump? It symbolizes the cow, the go which Gopala feeds and fends. Go, cow, also means beings, souls, individuals. So that Gopala is he who tends the souls, keeping them away from harm, encouraging them to graze in peace, and drives them back into the sheds when evening falls on earth. Individual beings too are under the loving care of God, who knows what is good for them and saves them from ruin. Thus, each trivial detail of the festival rites has a meaning, which can vibrate the participant in its proper time. End of Part 1 of 2, Prashanti Nilayam, January 14th, 1971.